Shalom, 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 Israel. We coming to you with another powerful movie review. Tonight we're reviewing The Forever Purge. So if you haven't saw it, we got some spoiler alerts. Spoiler alert, check out the movie and come back and watch the review of The Forever Purge with your brother Priest Sabak and my brother Nala on the camera. Watch the movie first and come back and check out the review. And remember, do a forever purge of yourselves, your spirit, your mind, and your body. That's why I got on white. To purge, we need to forever purge ourselves, Israel. Like David said in Psalms 51, purge me and I shall be clean, wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. So check out the Forever Purge with Esau going to try to kill us all off, and forever purge yourselves and cleanse yourselves in the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Yahweh. Come here, Shah. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Come here, shalom. Priest Sabak.
Brother Nala.
Brother Nala on the camera. HOI to the chariots fly. All praises to Yahweh Bashua Mashiach Yahushai. And once again, we right back at you again. Right back at you again with another movie review. All right? And it never fails. As soon as we start, some kind of unnecessary noise passes by.
Right on cue.
Right, but I digress. But anyway, we're right back at it again, Israel. All praises to Yahweh Bashua Mashiach Yahushai. We have another great movie review coming to you. Well, hopefully it's great to y'all. You get edification. All right, shalom. All right, and you know, we make some key points. So tonight we live and direct in New York City, Herald Square, 34th Street, AMC Theaters, one of our many spots we do our movie reviews at. And tonight, what we doing tonight, Nala?
We're doing the Forever Purge.
The Forever Purge. All right. As you know, Israel, you know, we love the Purge series movies. You know, we've been doing them ever since they came out. Even if we didn't do a direct review, we always did commentaries and camps and things of that nature. I think the last Purge movie we did was what? The first Purge? A couple of years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
About 2 years ago, and that was heavy. Matter of fact, right at this theater.
Right.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Around the same time of the year, the July 4th season or whatever. All right, so we're going to go into some key points in the Forever Purge. This one kind of, you know, as you know, Israel, we always like to start out, we do the movie reviews very generic and impromptu, for lack of a better saying. That's just the dynamic that me and Nala developed over the years. We didn't even really plan it. That's just how the movie reviews like came out since the Children of Israel days. And we just do it real cool, cavalier, generic, impromptu, right off the top of the head. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like I always say, the sit-down portion of a movie review, we can do that also, but it's just a better dynamic for us doing it this way, you know. It's just something fun that we develop. So, you know, this one caught us a little bit by surprise, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even look up the plot of the movie like we normally do because I wanted to be surprised. And this one kind of went a little different, kind of what we expected to a degree, but, you know, it still had the Purge theme, but it went a little different. This was called The Forever Purge. This is the 5th movie in the Purge installment. They have, remember, they have 5 movies and they have 2 seasons of the Purge TV show. All right, the 2 seasons of the Purge TV show, and they have 5 movies. This is the 5th movie in the installment, and I believe this is the final movie. I believe this is the 5th and final Purge movie that they're gonna make. Hence the Forever Purge. You know what I'm saying? So this movie, they could have technically called this one. They could have called this one Purge Anarchy 2. Because it was just chaos, and I see why they call Part 2 the Purge Anarchy, but they could have called this one the Purge Anarchy 2. This was the Forever Purge. All right. So as y'all know, I get into you know, I do the movie from beginning to end. All the points that I saw from the beginning of the movie all the way up until the end and in between. And like I said, like everything, when you look at all of the Purge movie series and television series, they all have a racial element to them.
Right,
Everyone have a racist and racial element to them. From the Purge, the first Purge, they was hunting a black man,
right.
a homeless black man. And remember, I'm gonna show you how Esau is something else, man. They're Hollywood and they're writers and directors. In the first Purge, they was hunting a black man.
Right.
You know, they called them filth and swine. Right. Remember they told Ethan Hawke, will you please let the filthy swine go? Right. They looked at Jake. All right, they looked at Jake as the degenerate of the earth. Right. And also in the first Purge, the only other black actor you saw was a black woman that was married to the white man. In the first, the first Purge movie, not the first Purge, but the Purge with Ethan Hawke. That had a racial element to it. The Purge Anarchy, that had the race war element to it. Right. Where it was Jake fighting against Esau and the powers that be. Right. The Purge election year, that had a racial tone to it with the lead Jake actor, now I forget his name, and the lead Edomite actor from the Purge Anarchy. They were having like racial tension in the Purge 3. The first Purge, we all know, they just came out and told you the first Purge was an experiment on Ephraim and Judah in the projects of Staten Island. Right. They just straight up, we hunting you niggas. You know what I'm saying?
And on the isolated Staten Island.
On the isolated Staten Island, right? You know what I'm saying? And when you check that out, that went into the race war element. Right. You know what I'm saying? And of course, first and foremost, the Forever Purge, once again, they just wrote Jake out of it. They just said, nigga, you don't even exist. Now the Purge season 1, as far as the television show, season 1, they had Eve like a bed wench in that one. Another racial element. The Purge season 2, they purged Jake out again. Black man just don't exist. You know what I'm saying? So all of the entire Purge series of movies and television show had that racial and racist element to it. All right. The next point I want to go to, third point, real quick. And this is a movie review we saw of a movie called Old. Now, how does that incorporate into what we're dealing with the Purge? Because this Forever Purge, it shows the breakdown of Esau's kingdom and society. Esau got a movie just straight up called Old. Where they go to this island and they age real quick. But everything is spiritual and symbolic. Esau know his kingdom is aging real quick. His society is aging real quick. Remember in 2nd Ezra's, it tells you the world has lost its youth. It says in Ecclesiastes, it tells you, y'all know we always quote the scriptures in the commentaries. In Ecclesiastes, it tells you what better is a young wise child than an old and foolish king. So Esau, that's all symbolic to Esau's kingdom becoming old. And also Revelation 12 and 12, the devil is going to come down onto you having great wrath because he know he got a short time. Like a person that's old. A person that's old say, well, damn, you know, I got my days are numbered. So spiritually, Esau know his kingdom's days are numbered. And literally to go to the flesh, they age real bad. But that's physically and spiritually for them. So
just like the reverse of that is black don't crack. Meaning Esau does crack. Because if you say black don't crack, then who cracks? You know?
If black don't crack, then who crack? Esau cracks. And they be 14 looking down 25. They be 25 looking 50. You know what I'm saying? So Esau they just straight up got a movie called Old. You know what I'm saying? Well, that incorporates into what we saw because they know their kingdom is waxing old. The time is coming. The time is coming of their judgment. Their days are numbered. So it's all spiritual. That's why it says the Forever Purge. Because Esau know a time is coming where his kingdom is going to collapse into anarchy and lawlessness, and there's not going to be nothing he can do about it. This is the scripture in 2nd Ezra's of 15 where it says the course of every man's action shall stand in their own house. Meaning what? There's going to be like a forever purge. It's going to be total chaos and anarchy in the streets, which I don't want to jump the gun. This was towards the end of the movie, but I want to mention it now because it goes with that. It's called a forever purge because, remember, one of the leaders of the Edomite purges, the forever purges, he said, listen, if you're not full-blooded American, and he means full-blooded white American.
Right, that's what he means.
If you're not a full-blooded American, you will be purged.
Right.
So that means Issachar, Gad, Judah, everybody but perhaps a Watts.
Right.
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Pure-blooded white American.
Right.
That's what they didn't really go that far.
Right.
But basically the forever purge was like, look, we're tired of other people inhabiting our country. If you're not a full-blooded American, we're killing you, we're purging you out.
Goes to show you they don't consider people of color Americans.
Exactly.
Not even Judah. And Judah been here for how many hundreds of years? Still not considered full-blooded American. You know?
Right, they still not. Hence, in the forever purge, they just got rid of Jake. I'm going to get into that element in a minute. I don't want to jump the gun. That's along the way.
Right.
Now, what's my next point? The next point is the purge, the forever purges had a symbol that they all looked up to, which was a straight-up Illuminati symbol. It was a pyramid with a skull, with skull and bones. That's been around since the damn World Trade Center. Because after 9/11, when the towers collapsed, a lot of movies started, the skull and bones started showing up in a lot of movies after 9/11. And hence, we're on the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. Hence, the skull and bones pops up again in the forever purge. Which, the whole symbol is letting you know, really, when chaos and anarchy hits the streets, especially America and the world, it's going to be from the Illuminati. They're going to collapse society. They want that to happen because they want everybody, they want to go into chaos so they can bring in martial law, they can kill people off, they can lock you in concentration camps, kill you off in the concentration camps because what? They want population control. All right, so in the movie, the forever purges had a symbol, and the symbol was an illuministic symbol. It was the pyramid, the skull. Now notice the skull was in the middle of the pyramid. The skull can also be symbolic to the all-seeing eye. Remember on the forehead of the skull, it was a pitchfork. All right, it was that symbol can be interchangeable, but that symbol looked like a pitchfork on top of the skull's head. And then the pyramid, the skull's head, and the pitchfork was encased in a serpent. It was one serpent biting or eating another serpent. It was biting and devouring another serpent. So that was the symbol of the forever purges, which is the Illuminati. So that's all Illuminati symbol.
And the snake biting another snake represents infinity. Like snake, it just keeps going and going and going.
It keeps going and going, The snake, good point, Because I know the snake biting another snake represents something. Which, they just
forever.
They just had a movie with called Infinite. On Infinite, I think it's called. All right, with I think Mark Wahlberg with the Sideways 8, which represents infinity. And like I was bringing out, Donald Rumsfeld just died. 88 years old. All right, which they might even sacrifice his ass. You know what I'm saying? But he's old as hell. You know, he might just drop dead. Everything in a conspiracy, brother. He was old, he just dropped dead. But you never know. You never know. Sometimes these devils be old and they still be living. Because they're taking your damn body parts. They probably said, look, you can't get that little gangbanger in Chicago's heart, man. We gotta let you die, man. We need an ultimate sacrifice.
Them Edomites the old Edomite men be having a little inside joke. You know, I got my heart. It's a black kid named Deshaun. So I'm part Deshaun. Then they smoke their cigars. Hey, his name is Deshaun.
So now this Purge movie went into the element of Issachar and Gad. So hence going back to my point where the Edomite that led the forever purges, he said if you're not full-blooded American, you would be purged. Now, how did the movie open up? The movie opened up with Issachar sneaking over the border. Then it goes 10 months later into, what is that? It was in Los Feliz Valley. Yeah, Los Feliz Valley, Texas. All right, now, why would the movie open up with Issachar sneaking through the border?
Right.
Because that's a heavy topic in America right now.
Right.
And a lot of these white Americans, they tired of Issachar sneaking.
Right.
They want to use it for cheap labor.
Right.
But they're taking over our country.
That Trump spirit. Build that wall.
Right. Build that wall. You know, that Trump spirit.
Right.
What the hell was Diamond and Silk?
I know, right?
Build
it up tall.
Right, but they just want no nigga presence in this movie.
Right.
All right, so now going on is what's my next point? All right. Right, so when you check it out, right, Issachar, the Perge was starting. So if you notice, all the Issacharites had to get together. Right. And they had to go to something like an internment camp. Right. You know, so that looked like a damn concentration camp. They had the barbed wire on the top, and they kind of mocking Issachar. Right. Because remember, it was that controversy the last couple of years where they had Issachar locked in these camps. Right. Yeah. And you've seen it in this Forever Purge. It kind of looked like how they had them all packed in. Yeah, yeah. Really nowhere to sleep. They had barbed wire. They had soldiers guarding the place. Right. They was making it seem like this was a protection place for Issachar during the Purge, which is true. Because Issachar would need something like that. Because if you was to have a purge, them damn wild Edomites would be hunting Issachar like crazy. And some Diamond and Silk type niggas probably be with the Edomites. Yeah, yeah. Issachar. Get them. You know what I'm saying? So they had them kind of in an internment camp, and I said they mocking Issachar. Right. They literally taking the headlines and saying, look, it looks like we're protecting y'all during the purge, but this is what we do. We got y'all locked in these damn internment camps. Right. When you try to sneak over the border. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, point number 7. Now, when you check it out, when the movie opened up, you had a Gadite chief on the news talking about how unjust the purge was. Right. You understand? So later on in the movie, I'm gonna lead up to that too. But you had Gad and Issachar, they eventually had to come together and fight. Right. Because Esau, that's going to lead to a point later on, but Esau threw that element thing in there on purpose. Right. And they know that basically they stole this land from Gad and Issachar. Especially, you know, Texas, New Mexico, them certain parts. That was Gad and Issachar. Right. And Esau he stole this land from both of them. And now you got the nerve to have a damn purge to get them out when you stole the damn land from them. You know what I'm saying? So, reading on, going on my next point. All right. When you in the internment camp, I noticed something interesting. In the internment camp, as they was coming out of the camp after the purge was supposed to be over, because the plot of the movie is a regular 12-hour purge, but then there's a group of Americans that rise up and say no, we're going to purge forever. It's time for this country to be purged and cleansed, right? But in just something funny I noticed. And now a lot of probably saw this too. In the internment camp, they had a picture of Christ and the 12 disciples at the last supper. Right? And it looked like the one with Caesar Borgias, but then it was fuzzy. Yeah. They kind of didn't really show it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Almost like it could have been an image of a black man. Yeah. But they kind of didn't show the image, but it was that picture of Christ and the 12 disciples. Yeah, they had a little more tannish version of Christ. A little more tannish, and it was kind of fuzzy and blurred out. Yeah. Like you got to figure out what nation he was. Right, so now once the 12-hour purge was over, all these strange things start happening, and people were trying to go back to normal life, but things just seemed strange. Right. Now remember, another illuministic symbol, when Adala, the Issachar lady that was played the guy's wife, the other Issachar that was part of the fighting the purges, played his wife, she went back to her job, working at a meat factory, and there was a goat with blood on it. Right. You understand? Symbolizing what? The Baphomet. Right. Esau's illuministic symbol, and let you know Esau is the Illuminati is the one that's technically going to put out this forever purge. This is a ritual too. It's a major sacrifice too. That goat in that cage wasn't an accident. They put that in the movie. It could have been a chicken. It could have been a dog. They made sure that was a goat in that cage to represent and baited her into that cage, which was a trap. Just like things of Satan is a trap, you know? And when you in that music industry and different things, you gotta worship the goat of Baphomet. Right. And notice the goat had blood on the horns, and it had blood on the forehead.
Representing that blood sacrifice.
Representing that blood.
Because she was about to be sacrificed.
Because she got caught.
It was a trap.
Right. It reminded me of Rihanna in Disturbia. The video Disturbia.
Right.
Like once she came under the umbrella.
Right.
Now she's trapped and
she's like bugging out. Yeah.
She's bugging out. You know, she's like, oh shit, what did I get myself into?
Right.
So likewise, she went like innocently to save the goat.
Right.
But then she got trapped. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
devil's trick, man.
Eventually, you know, she was freed, but she got trapped with the goat. But it goes into again the illuministic symbolism throughout the movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Next point, it says, now finally, when all right, once they realized the forever purge, one of the rebellious Issacharites, he went to hunt the Edomite family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was on a ranch. It was Issachar working for Esau. I believe that Edomite family represents the Bushes.
Right, yeah.
I'm reaching, but it looked like Senior and Junior Bush.
Yeah, God. That
and
Texas,
sisters, right?
them Texas rich family.
Them Texas rich ranch families. It's like, it's almost like they symbolize the Bush family.
Right.
Yes, especially Papa and Son Bush.
Right.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But when, once they came out of the, they realized it was a forever purge. The purge was going beyond 12 hours. Right. And that people was just going to be killing. There was a portion of the country that agreed, listen, we're going to just purge, period. Right. One of the Issachar workers, because if you check it out, that particular Issachar worker, he said, I forget his name, he said, remember, these people, they just giving us this money to keep us stringing along as their slaves. Right. Remember Papa Bush? I'm going to call him Papa Bush. Their name was Tucker. But, you know, that could be a play on words. You know what I'm saying? A play on names. But remember, he gave them a purge bonus. Yeah. Because what? The purge had basically become a national holiday. Right. Like you get a Christmas bonus on the job. You get a purge bonus. A Thanksgiving turkey or a box of food. Yeah. He gave them a purge bonus. Right. And notice Issachar said, I know what I'm going to do with my money. Right. And he told the other Issacharites, they only giving us this money so we can come back and continue to be their slaves. Right, cause. See, that's all that, the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together. Issachar realized he's a damn slave. Working on the ranch and all that, but he said we're not. So basically, he was like an Issachar Nat Turner. Right. He said when a purge come, I'ma hunt this fucking racist, excuse my language, this racist white family that hate us Mexicans. That's gonna be my purge. Right. And he tried to, if you notice, he tried to convince the other Issacharites too. Right. Like, yo, they don't look at us as nothing but slaves. Right. And when the time come, we gonna kill their ass. Right. He had an Issachar Nat Turner spirit. Like, let's raise up and slaughter and kill the slave master and his family. You know what I'm saying? Before he was about to kill him, notice Father Bush was like, I know, because he was complaining about how y'all treat us as slaves. Right. You took this country from the Native Americans. Da 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 da. And then the elder Edomite, he was like, yeah, okay, you're right. We did your people wrong. And notice what that devil said. Esau know what he put in Hollywood. That devil says, ever since we took this land for the Native American Indians, we have been mistreating everybody. That devil, that's St. John 10:10. Yeah. The thief cometh not but for the kill, steal and destroy. That's St. John 10:10. That's Micah 2:2. Right. They covet fields and take them by violence. Right. All right. Esau, no, that was them. That Tucker guy was really Papa Bush. Right. So notice notice what they do in there. As he was telling Issachar, yeah, you're right, we did mistreat you. Right. But then he put a spin on it and said, well, you're no different than the fat businessman in Washington that created the purge. Right. And then what Esau says, so F you anyway. Yeah, so in other words, that Edomite pride still came out of him. Yeah. As if to say, well, we know we was wrong, but you seeking revenge is still wrong. F you anyway. Right. That's when Issachar put the damn bullet in his head. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward in. So now there's chaos. The forever purge is in full effect. It's after 7 a.m., way after 7 a.m. Chaos, anarchy, people are still killing, still purging. So eventually, Issachar, she tries to escape, and she ends up with her black boss.
Right.
Notice this boss, the only black man in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The only black man in the movie.
God.
And once again, Ham is the new Jew.
God.
The only black man in a movie, and they phased him out.
Yeah.
Right, they phased him out. Now, this black actor that played the boss of this meat house that the Issachar sister Adela worked in, once they realized it was a forever purge and the purges attacked the meat market, they escaped in a police van.
Right.
All right, now notice, in a police van, there was a neo-Nazi in there.
Right.
With a swastika and bullets tattooed on, and the man was a maniac.
Yeah.
Those are them Edomites that's really waiting for
They really exist.
You know what I'm saying? Now, see, a lot of people, to try to throw off the movie, people say, oh, it's stereotypical, and no.
Yeah.
Esau, no. The characters he put in these movies really exist.
Right.
These people are real. Some of them probably are not even acting.
Yeah, you know some of them cats in the few of the Perge movies, like, is this dude really acting?
Right.
He's like, you giving me excuse to say these lines, but I really mean that shit.
Did you really go get a damn neo-Nazi to play that part?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, they'll say, no, that's just an actor.
Right.
Whatever the case may be, but the neo-Nazi in a police van was a nutcase.
Right.
Remember, the man screamed, and that was subliminal too.
Yeah.
He screamed to the police, "Let me out!"
Yeah.
In other words, you guys supposed to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Neo-Nazis, police, government, we all supposed to be fighting together to kill all these non-Americans.
Salakia, that's what happened in Jersey with that Edomite that was cursing the Jake out. He says, "I'm with the police. I sell drugs. Get this nigger." Did you see that video?
Yeah. The Edomite that gave his address.
Yeah. I live it because he was clicked in with the cops.
Right.
So that's what got him cocky. He said, "Get ready," because this is a small little New Jersey town.
Right.
So he's with them. So he had cockiness, but he's on camera. So now they got to deal with him.
Right.
But he's probably grew up with all of them Edomite cops in that little town. You know.
Right. Correct.
So that's what the let me back of what you just brought out. He's like, "You're on my side. Let me out." You know.
Right. Exactly. You're supposed to be like. And the way he was screaming at the top of his lungs, like as if to say, "What the hell is wrong with you guys?
Right.
You supposed to be on my side."
Right.
And with the guy in Jersey, this stupid ass Edomite that gave his address out,
right.
And like 200 niggas turned over his lawn,
right.
And threw water on him. Jake was basketball dunking water bottles on his damn head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jake got a little backbone sometimes.
Sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? But the Edomite, remember, they knew him. He knew the police and stuff by name.
Right.
He told a cop, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, Khan. He grew up. It's a
He
small,
told a cop, "Get the F out
little small rinky-dink Jersey town. Yeah.
And the cop was
we used to be in the 5th grade
on,
together.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Calm down. Would you come on?
Yeah.
Now, had that been Jake F, shut the fuck up, nigga. Go back to your house. Da.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the neo-Nazi was in a police van spazzing out, and I thought that's subliminal. Like, he's yelling, "Let me out," as if to say, "You guys, we supposed to be all together killing these niggers, these Mexicans, these Native Americans, and all so-called non-pure blood Americans."
Right.
All right. So they get in the van, they fight. The van gets blown up and not turned over, and Issachar, Ham, and the neo-Nazi survive. So the neo-Nazi's trying to kill him, and then Ham, I guess he's supposed to be Judah.
Yeah.
But what I noticed in the movie, they didn't make him sound like Judah. He still kind of had his Hamite accent. Now, that guy is named, him I did look up. His name is Sammy Rotibi.
Okay.
He's a Nigerian American actor.
Right.
Now, that's crazy because lately, a lot of Israel is simple with Nigeria and Kenya.
Right.
Now a lot of Israel, even some Israel in one West camps.
Right.
You say you from Nigeria, oh, that's an Israelite.
Right.
He's evil, he's this, he's that. Oh, that's, I can tell you, a lot of Nigerians is no.
Right.
The Most High had 2 major things happen over this summer to show a lot of Nigerians is not Israel.
Right.
They are Americanized Hamites that y'all getting tricked into thinking is Israel. Or a lot of, being that we coming into the last days, doctrines aroused and brothers start bugging out and people start getting impatient, just wanting to make everybody an Israelite.
Right.
To say, see, the remnant is gathering in.
Right.
You know, now we go ham on this topic.
Go ham on it.
No, right, we go ham on it, right? You know what I'm saying? Ham in chief.
Right.
Like they had on the front of the Daily News with Obama.
Right.
All right, now, when you check it out, the Nigerian boxer, remember, He came out and said, I'm not a nigger.
Right.
I didn't come to America on a ship. I came on a plane.
Right.
And he got his ass knocked out by Jake from Georgia.
Right.
And then this other Nigerian recently that said he speaks for black Americans.
Right.
He did some interview or wrote some book being a black man in America, and a lot of Judah was mad about that.
Yeah.
Because they was like, he's a Nigerian immigrant. He don't know what the struggle of a black American man is.
Right.
So both of them cats was Nigerian. Both of them was Nigerian. And the second one, they caught him in an interview saying he's different from black Americans.
Right.
So we say all that to say, a lot of you brothers, you blackity black Israelites, you Negro only Israelites, you other camps, even some of the one Westerners, they got this thing where, oh, he's Nigerian, that's an Israelite. I'm telling you, no. They are Americanized Africans that you think are Israelites. I'm going to stick with that to the chariots. And the Most High gave 2 examples with these Nigerians that a lot of people, even Israel, probably would have said, oh, nah, that's an Israelite. See, they came out with their true damn spirit. Because in their spirit, you can never deny the spirit. I don't give a damn the flesh, whatever. I don't care how much he talk like us, vibe like us. You can't deny that spirit. That Hamite spirit going to come out and they going to admit that they not Jew. And their racism going to come out. Because he said, I came here on a plane, not on a ship. But the nigga on the ship knocked your monkey African ass out. Your African monkey ass got knocked out by that brother from Georgia. All right, so going on, so that's a Hamite, once again, replacement of Judah. They didn't even have no other Judites in this movie. I think they had some blacks in the movie, but I'm gonna get to that in another point. But the only man of color, real man of color, dark-skinned man, right? Because Issachar had a little color and Gad had a little color, but the only so-called black man that was supposed to be in a movie, he was a Hamite actor by the name of Sammy Rotibi. He's a Nigerian American actor. He's not our people. You can tell, spirit and everything. You can tell. I don't give a damn about the haircut or whatever. You can tell he's not our people. But once again, all these movies, Hollywood, they're replacing Judah with him. And now he saved Issachar. He played the little savior for Issachar, which really, that should be Judah and Issachar fighting together against Esau and the sister. But he's a Hamite actor. They had him replace Judah, and then eventually they phased him out of the movie. He just faced them. They said, remember Issachar tried to get him to come with him. You know what I'm saying? Like a remnant of Issachar and our people that show you the remnant of the northern kingdom gonna say no, the Moreno's our brother too. He's in the same struggle. We need to be fighting together. Remember she tried to get him.
She said, come, let's go.
She's like, come on, let's go. She said, we'll protect you. And he's like, no, I gotta get my family. I gotta go and I gotta try to find my family. You know what I'm saying? So that was a way for them. I see how they wrote that in there. Okay, he gotta go. The man is concerned about his family. That's understandable. But that was a way to phase any resemblance of a black man in a movie to phase them out. And then the actor wasn't even a Judite. He was a damn Hamite. Judah can't even be the sacrificial Jake. You can't even be the phased out black man in the movie. Even him is taking that. You know what I'm saying? So we told y'all, we've been telling y'all from the days of us, from Get Out, from Ham is the new Judah.
Ham is the new Judah.
They're really trying to erase the tribe of Judah with just having everybody just take out even the bad parts of us. They don't want us to
like Tariq said, the non-FBA.
That non-FBA. You know what I'm saying? All right. What's the next point? Remember, so fast forward, chaos is breaking out. So now the Edomites from the ranch, the Bush family, they get together with Issachar. Point I gotta make. When the Issacharites was trying to kill the Edomites, who comes and saves the day under Issachar? Instead of them coming and saying, look, let's kill these devils. They could have killed them devils and still ran and fought together. That would have been 5 of the Issacharites. They would have had to fight with them. But what happened? That's Proverbs 11:21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. They always got somebody to come and save the day for Esau. And when you check it out, Judah, Issachar, Gad, all the tribes of Israel, when it comes time to exact vengeance on Esau, ain't nobody gonna save your ass. The niggas that get in the way, or the rest of Israel that northern or southern kingdom that get in the way, remember the Lord said everyone that is joined unto them gonna fall by the sword also.
Right.
So if you got some save the day Israelites to try to help Esau when that day come, they ask gonna get slaughtered too.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. But you know Esau gotta throw that in there. And he gotta throw that in every movie.
Right.
Somebody, and a lot of times it's us that come and save the day. All right. So there was a part. Okay, fine. The Edomite woman, the Bush family's baby Bush wife was pregnant. Laura was pregnant, right? You know what I'm saying? So she made a statement when, you know, after the Forever Purge started, the chaos broke out. She said, "I'm scared to have my baby in this environment."
Right.
You understand? But Esau, your ass better be scared to have your baby in this environment. Because the book of Job 27 says, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword.
Right.
You Edomites that's pregnant in these last days, your babies are headed for the race war or slavery, goddammit. If they make it in one of these bomb shelters or whatever. They're headed for the race wars, nuclear destruction, or slavery. If your ass happen to make it in one of these bomb shelters or underground shelters, we're gonna dig your ass out after the chariots come, and you're gonna be the first slaves. So Esau, your ass better be scared to have your. Remember, she said, "I'm scared to have my baby in this time in the world." Yeah, you better be Esau, because they ass going into slavery, they going to nuclear destruction, or they going to die in a race war. Right. That's where your damn babies are going in these last days. All right. What's the next point? As the Bush family and the Issacharites are rolling together. So now Esau and Issachar is rolling together. This is before Gad joins them. Right. Esau and Issachar is rolling together. And by the way, the cowboy is supposed to be Judah. Right. Because Judah was the original cowboy. Right. Esau, notice they made it a point for him to keep having his hat on. Because technically it should have been Judah, Issachar, and Gad fighting together. Right. But I'm gonna reiterate a point about that also. But now Issachar and Esau, they saved the Edomite family from being killed by the other Issacharites that knew Esau had them as slaves. Right. And they revolted. That's like the little boy that told on Nat Turner. Right. When you watch the Nat Turner movie. Yeah. When they was rising up and the little Jake goes and tells. Snitching Jake. So these Issachar, they come and save Esau instead of letting Esau get their vengeance. Right. From Issachar and then fighting together with Issachar. So they rolling together now, right? So now Issachar steps to him and he asks Baby Bush, the younger cowboy, younger Edomite cowboy, he says, "You don't like Mexicans, right?" Right. And notice Esau always got to be politically correct. Right. But notice what the devil said. Right. He said, "It's not that I don't like Mexicans or races." He said, "I just think everybody should stick to their own kind." Right. All right. And that's Sirach. That's Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. The Lord said, "What? All flesh consortive to kind." Right. That's in Ecclesiasticus 13:15. All flesh consortive to kind. Meaning what? Esau is right about that. But of course, they're going to play it off like it's not racial. Right. I don't hate you Mexicans, but I think everyone should stick with their own kind. Right. Because you got them kind of politically correct Edomites. Right. You know, we've dealt with Edomites like in the camp. I'm liberal. I'm not racist. Right. But I'm not racist. You got, I mean, F you guys, man. You're calling me a racist. Right. You know what I'm saying? Esau damn near want to fight you to prove that he's not a racist. Right. Right, but when he beats your nigga ass, he gonna go over to brag to his homeboy. Right. You don't see I beat that nigga's ass, man. Right. But he'll damn near fight you to prove that he's not. Right. But he'll say, "I just think everyone should stay to their own kind." But then you're a racist. Right. You're for your own race. Right. You know what I'm saying? But the word, remember, they always confuse the word prejudice with racist. Right. Racist means you're just for your own kind. Right. That's all. So if you're gonna say that I don't hate you guys, I just think everybody should stay to their own kind, then you're racist. Right. But I noticed they snuck that in the movie also. Had a lot of dynamics. He's tricky. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right, so yeah, that was the next point. Yeah, so like I said, eventually they linked up with Gad. And Gad said, "Okay, we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight the Perges and we're gonna help y'all get to the border of Canada." But, I'm gonna reiterate a point on that too. But when you check it out, that cowboy is supposed to have been Judah. Right. But they replaced it. What happened was what should have happened was, even though it's a movie, it's Hollywood, but shit in real life, when the Most High bring these race wars aboard,
right,
they're supposed to kill off the Edomite family, and then Judah and Issachar and Gad and all the tribes are supposed to join together. But they're not gonna put that in the movie.
Right.
Even though it's Hollywood, that would have been too powerful.
Too much, yeah.
Right, to have Judah, Gad, and Issachar fight together. Right, and we know for the Negro-only Israelites and those that don't co-sign to the 12 tribes chart, we know this is above y'all understanding.
Right.
And y'all gonna say, oh, that's Esau, that's the white man's movie.
Right.
You believe that stupidity?
Right.
They don't want the Negroes to get together.
Right.
So that's above your pay rate.
Right.
You know, keep your comments to yourself. Go with your all black camps.
Right.
We see y'all in the kingdom.
You know that's going to be the area of contention.
Yeah.
Oh, them Spaniard gooks, they're not our people.
Those not our people.
But
you know what
you
I'm
can save that. We already know where you're going to come with that.
But see, everything is spiritual.
Yeah.
And these brothers are saying the white man gave you that. But
Right.
what I don't see the benefit Esau would have in admitting. Well, anyway, I don't see how it would destroy our nation.
Right.
How would Esau use that, admitting that Gad and Issachar are Israelites from the archaeology and history, and throwing subliminals in the movie? How is that destroying us?
Right, right.
Well, his brothers answer. They want you to incorporate heathens into the nation, and not have all blacks as 12 tribes.
Right.
But see, it's spiritual. The Most High also said he was going to use Esau to tell the truth.
Right.
He was going to make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. The children of Judah and the children of Israel will be oppressed together.
Right.
Then the Most High said he broke the brotherhood, but he will bring us back and make us one stick in his hand.
Right.
You understand? So that's going to go above brothers' heads. It's going to be a big argument. Brothers gonna go back and forth. It's gonna get carnal now.
Right.
Brothers is threatening violence against brothers.
Right.
They shot at them guerrilla Hebrew.
Wow.
So you know, leave that alone. It's not even worth debating because, you know, one thing about when you get them jakes. Notice from in the world, when you get them jakes that don't like Northern Kingdom, they be real violent with it.
Yeah, calm.
And don't get me wrong, Northern Kingdom that be racist against us, like out in California. Issachar hate Judah and they be violent.
Right.
But it's vice versa. It's that hatred that the Most High said would be between the tribes.
Came from Solomon, man.
It's from Solomon, when the
that's sin.
split. But that's gonna go above cats' heads. It's gonna turn into an argument and carnal. Then brothers gonna make suck-ass threats and it's gonna have to go somewhere else. So I leave them guys alone.
Right.
All right, leave me and HR alone. Believe what you want to believe. Leave all my brothers alone and just believe what you want to believe.
Right.
All right, but anyway, moving on. It says, now, did you pay attention? Now that's another point I think I caught, but I want to make sure. Was some of the Forever Perges Jakes?
No.
Did you notice that?
I didn't see any. I mean, unless you peeped it.
I think I peeped
You might have saw a Jake slip in there.
I think
if it was very subtle because I missed it.
It was real. I think two of the Forever Perges were Jake.
Okay, you could have some coon Jake slid up in there.
Now, the reason why I say if I'm wrong, I gotta rewatch the movie.
Yeah.
I think. But the only thing I say to that is that shows that if they were Jake, that shows that Jake will fight to protect the system, but not against it.
Right.
Because the Forever Purges, they were trying to protect America. Right. They were trying to say it's for full-blooded, but I think they threw. If I looked at the skin, I think it was one of the.
It could have been. It could have been.
Once again, it's all about fighting with Esau.
Right.
Even with Issachar, fighting with Esau and protecting America, the white man, and the system, as opposed to just letting this damn thing collapse and let it fall and fight against it. Right. You don't beat it while it's down. You know what I'm saying? So I could be wrong though. I gotta look at it again. But it looked like a color of the little dark skins I saw there. Right. All right. So they come to another point where they fighting again. All right, they fighting against the Edomite Forever Purges, and this is an interesting thing I noticed when Esau was about to kill the other Issacharite, the Issacharite woman, and the Issachar came with the noose. Right. Issachar came and threw the noose around his neck and hung his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because what? The Lord said what? A lot of what they did to us will come on their own back. That reminds me of the story of Esther when Haman and his 10 sons got hung by Mordecai, the Benjamite. Right. When they made the gallows to hang Mordecai on, but the Lord reversed it and had Haman get hung
by Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Yeah. And just like, even though this was Ham, But you saw Ham take the whips
right.
in Africa and they was whipping the Edom.
Right,
and then there's another video where a lion, Esau dumbass out there with the lions or whatever, and a lion rises up and attacks the Edomite. So somebody put on a caption, when Judah finally wakes up.
Right,
when the lion of Judah finally wakes up, this is what we gonna do to Esau. You know what I'm saying? So it's that revenge element too. They threw where Issachar hung Esau.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was in there too. Like they fighting the forever purges or whatever. And once again Esau survives.
Right.
They now in the movie, it got to the point where America got so chaotic, it was so much purging and killing going on, that Canada and Mexico opened up their borders.
Right.
You understand? Which is interesting because America, you so strict and you know, we let these people in, but when all hell breaks out, Mexico's supposed to open their borders to you. You understand? They don't have the same tension with Canada, but notice, the good old white man is in trouble in America, open your borders. So Esau, Gad, and Issachar fighting together, it helps Esau to survive.
Right.
And then what happens eventually, Esau has a baby.
Right.
And you go continue, just like in Quiet Place.
Right.
They always, Esau, and the thought is that their houses will continue forever.
Right.
Now, who helped Esau survive? Gad and Issachar.
Right.
The two of the tribes of Israel that you did the dirtiest. Remember, when Gad came in and said, okay, we're going to help y'all fight, notice what the devil said?
Right.
He said, but it's not your fight.
Right.
And Gad said, we've been fighting their fight for
500 years.
You damn devil. So in other words, he's saying, well, you Native Americans and Mexicans, you're not the same people. Why y'all fighting together?
Yeah.
In other words, they don't want that unity with the tribes.
Right.
See, we know all the subliminals, Esau.
Right.
But the guy that cut him and said, no, we've been fighting their fight for 500 years.
Right.
Why? Because their fight is our fight.
Right.
Just like in 12 Years a Slave, when they showed Judah and Gad
together.
And they were saying, listen, they had y'all in slavery. They did the same thing to y'all that they did to us.
Right.
And then eventually they like, we're brothers, and they started communing amongst each other.
Right.
And remember, they started dressing up like the Gadites and everything. Hence, that's where you get black Indians.
Right.
But that's a whole other topic, all right? So now, of course, in all these movies, because really the Forever Purge, it also represents the destruction of America.
Right.
That's why, although it was killing and everything, at the end of the movie, it showed America on fire. Right. Because really, all this is going to lead up to the nuclear destruction. Right. All this leads up to Esau's. So it's all coinciding with what? The second coming of Yahweh and the destruction of Esau's kingdom. All right, but like in every movie, like I said, this could have been called Anarchy too. Right. Because you know, it's that end of the world, the forever destruction spirit. Right. But in every movie about any type of end times, Esau survived. Right. All right, they got a movie on Amazon called The Tomorrow War.
Yeah, kind of just it's come out.
All right, Tomorrow War, where you know, it's futuristic and Esau's still there. Right. They always survive. But, and if you notice towards the end of the movie, what's the actor's name that played the baby cowboy? You know his name?
I don't know his name.
Right, he looks like a young Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Right, he looks like Kevin. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But anyway, notice he stared at Gad. He took a little stare at Gad and Issachar. Right. As if to say, yo, look who had to help me survive. Right. You know, but is that Hollywood fantasy of no matter what we did to these Native Americans and these Mexicans, they'll still come back and help Master. Right. And they will help Master because basically, when you see Esau, his woman, his child, that means they're going to rule forever. Right. That means their seed line going to continue to grow and they're going to rule.
That was the subliminal.
That was the subliminal.
The baby's going to carry on the legacy. Right. Because even in A Quiet Place, he had a baby involved.
They had a baby involved, exactly. There's always that seed to come. Yeah. And then she said it was a girl. Right. And they paused for a minute. Yeah. Remember, he paused? Right. Because really, of course, the man is going to carry the seed. Right. But Esau's like, the hell with it. As long as I got a little white baby somewhere, we will survive. We'll continue. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, basically, let me see, 1 or 2 more points. All right. Yeah, basically, so I basically kind of covered everything. At the end of the day, though, what I got out of the whole thing is America's going to go into anarchy, chaos, the apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, the last days, the forever purge, you know what I'm saying? But that instead of Esau, that cowboy, that should have been Judah.
Right.
And it should have been Gad and Issachar.
Right.
The children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together.
Right.
And all that took them captive, held them fast, and refused to let them go. And also, the Most High said he was going to put the stick of Joseph and the stick of Judah back together and make them one stick in his hand. This kingdom, as Esau falls, the tribes got to come back together.
Right, right.
So that was the subliminal in there. Instead of that white Edomite cowboy, that should have been Judah. And we all know the history of Judah being a cowboy. So that was the whole gist of that forever purge. The race war against Esau and the powers that be against Jake and all the tribes. And eventually, America's going to burn in nuclear destruction, and we're going to be delivered by Yahweh. All right, because if you notice, they went to Mexico, and they said over 2 million Americans survived. And you know, they were in Mexico, and Mexico had to open a border to save these Americans. Right. You know what I'm saying? So Esau always got a survival element of it, but in your fall, Israel is going to prevail, and your kingdom is going to be totally destroyed. So at any point you have?
I got three. You covered most of it excellently, as always. I just got three little points. The movie was reflected about real life, like the Perge movies tend to do. They reflect things that have happened, things that are happening, and things that will happen. So it's a movie that's very much has intentions behind it. That realistic intentions behind it. So one of the things they reflected on, two things they reflected on this particular one, Forever Purge, is the Capitol uprising back in January, the Capitol riot, the storming of the Capitol. You get to see the spirit of how all these little Edomites that live in these little towns, and some of them are from trailer parks, some of them are from suburbia. A lot of them are ex-military, and it goes to show you when they come together like that, which Trump was dog whistling for this white supremacy, telling the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, was giving them a whistle, a dog whistle, to like, on my order, you go handle that business, and how they just snapped to it, and how those Edomites, you know, they had this little mini documentary New York Times put together that just came out this month, a well-packaged documentary about how that whole series of events happens in real time. And you see, one of the things that stuck out to me is you see a lot of these dudes are ex-military, and they had radios, and they had a whole strategic plan. They had little maps of the Capitol. So this was a military execution, which is homeland terrorism. And very few of them, you know, you had a couple of deaths incidentally with the woman and the cop, but Esau, when they get all these people that are working in military and police departments and society, these Edomites are ready to purge. And that Capitol incident is showing you that they're ready to move. They had no regard. They were supposed to be on this Blue Lives Matter, but they were beating up cops. They were punching cops, hitting cops with flagpoles. And killing cops. But what happened to that Blue Lives Matter is a front. Blue Lives Matter mean you guys are in charge of killing niggas. And when y'all try to stop us, the Blue Lives Matter should go out the window. Because they tried to be a barrier between that and the Capitol. And then the other thing about the Capitol was the Capitol Police are like foot soldiers. They just like security guards. They were calling for backup. They were calling for state police and military, and they kept getting denied until it was too late, until they already stormed it. So that goes to show you that it was an inside job, that everybody was down. But to let me back off the Purge, that's all reflective of that. Like, this society can go crumble in a second, and even have your citizen, these white citizens, put the seat of power, which is the Capitol building where all the laws are made, the seat of power can be run in through, and they use their white privilege to storm right in like nothing. So another aspect it reflects is the George Floyd riots that a little over a year ago, when you saw America on fire, because they were showing from Utah. Like, I didn't know black people, that showed, what that George Floyd situation, one of many things that it showed me is black people are everywhere. I never even knew black people were in Minnesota like that. They were in Utah rioting. I was like, black people live in Salt Lake City, Utah? I didn't know that. So, and even these little weird places in Wisconsin and stuff like that, all these little uprisings happen. And them brothers, I give it to them new brothers in England, in London, they turned up when that George Floyd. It's all across. It's even another country across the Atlantic Ocean. Right. They was turning up out there. There was beating up cops out there. Right. So that's another let me back where how you could have riots like they were saying in the Perge. They were naming all the cities. I said Los Angeles, New York. They said Times Square. There's purges going on in Times Square, New York, and Miami. How all that stuff can spread like wildfire.
Especially with the internet and everything now.
Right,
yeah. And going,
go ahead.
Yeah, going back to what you said about the Capitol.
Right.
Remember in I forgot this point too.
Right.
In the Forever Purge, they had a scene
right.
where they took over a U.S. military base.
Right, Khan.
And they blew it up and destroyed
right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed an entire U.S. military base.
Right.
So that goes to show you if the right Americans, I'm gonna call them the right ones.
Right.
If the right Americans rise up against this system that used to be ex-military and police and intelligence,
right.
they can get up in there and destroy anything.
Right.
Because they're familiar with the infrastructure, mm-hmm. they know the weaponry, they know the layout, and especially if they do like the Capitol.
Right.
If you're not calling for national, if you calling for National Guard and backup and they're not coming,
right.
these people that actually what used to be your law enforcement
right.
will come and overthrow you.
Right.
Because they know exactly what to do and how to, they used to be that.
Right.
So, and notice in El Paso they came and they overthrew the military base in the Forever Purge.
Right.
And they remember they had to stop the borders there. They couldn't take people back into Canada because they said it's a security risk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's that same element of how they overthrew the Capitol. They came and they literally took, because listen, you're gonna have, like you said, you're gonna have all these different type of Americans rise up. Got all kinds of background and training.
Right,
So this thing is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy.
Especially when they start looking at how their country is so-called being taken from them. You know what I'm saying? And just to go back on my point about they phased out the black man, and the only black man in the movie was a Hamite. Here's the cast of the Forever Purge. Here they go.
See that?
Look, here's Esau. You got Northern Kingdom because they had to play the Issachar part, and one so-called black man, and he's a Hamite.
Right.
That's the Sammy Rotobi of the Nigerian American. Look at everybody else. No more Jakes but him.
It's sort of like the casting part two of Quiet Place 2.
Right, there you go.
You got one straight Jake and he's a Hamite.
One straight Jake and he's a Hamite.
Same thing.
So you can't even be the one token nigga anymore. You got to be replaced by a Hamite actor.
So my final point is the whole Issachar. This is not a debate to go back and forth, because ultimately you're going to believe what you believe, and when your Howard Shai returns, he's going to say whether the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans, Guatemalans, and so on, and Colombians, Peruvians, so on and so forth are our people. But the spirit will show you that if, even in the movie's accurate to what will happen. In real life, at the end of the day, Edomites will come and say, look, if you're not Caucasian, I'm on your neck. So we naturally, our spirit between Northern and Southern Kingdom, aka blacks and Hispanics, we're going to get together because we're around each other, especially if you want to get specific, Judah and Ephraim. And Judah and Ephraim, Benjamin. We grow up together in these cities, Philadelphia, New York, pretty much Northeast, even Chicago. Yo, bro, let's go. Yo, let's get down, bro. Ephraim gonna come to you, and we naturally gonna be one stick in the Most High. So it follows prophecy. So brothers gonna have they gonna say that. But just a quick history of Issachar is a lot of that is deeper than you know. Yes, we know in all the Hispanic countries there's European Spaniard Hispanics. Yes, we know that, and they did a lot of damage and they caused a lot of conflict, particularly Simeon. They messed Simeon mind up when they said that one drop of what messed Simeon up, saying that one drop of Spanish blood makes you a not black person. That's what really did it, to make a long story short. But a lot of one little quick aspect, because this is a whole different lesson, the Olmecs in Mexico, they're still revered to this day. It's a mystery. In my little hunch, this is no facts, no proof behind it, but I feel like they were Israelites that came over there. It might even be the tribe of Issachar, the purest form of Issachar themselves. And you're seeing the descendants of them. One little piece of information with the Olmecs left their statues, so you'll never forget. It's like the spirit had it to where they have these big monster head statues, so you never forget they were there in the land with these black faces, and all the faces are pointing east. Just like when you pray east, the faces, all the faces of that, none of them is pointing north, south. The heads all face east, and that's the spirit of them telling you, like, look, it's going to be a future where you're going to be unsure, but our faces were here first.
Right,
and
right.
one last quick, and you're the seed of your father. So there's seed lines of these Israelites that were there. One quick point, and this is just two seed lines down, 2 sons down. Snoop Dogg, the legendary Snoop Dogg from Long Beach, California, his sons, I think both of them had children marry Issacharite women.
Right.
So you're the seed of your father. If you see Snoop Dogg's grandchild, they look straight up Issachar. Right. It almost looks odd. You see Snoop holding his grandson, and it looks like he's holding up a Mexican kid. Right. But that's his seed. That's his son's son. That's his son's son. And he looks like an Issacharite. Right. So if that confusion of faces, it's meat that everybody can't swallow. But this kid, Snoop Dogg's grandson, grow up to be a Mexican-looking man, and you say, who your grandfather is? Snoop Dogg. You would never think that. Never think that. But that's to give you just a quick understanding, and a visual that all these Mexicans, they say, well, they don't look like us. Look who Snoop Dogg's grandson is. It's gonna, when you mix in with the women, we're a speckled bird, so we're gonna look like all type of things. Right. Ultimately, the spirit gonna reveal, the event's gonna reveal, play themselves out, and then of course Yahweh Shai, with the power of the Most High, is gonna reveal, make everything known. But that's a good one to look at within a lifetime of a person. How you could be a black man and have your grandchildren look like a completely different race.
All right, and that's big in county. See that a lot in county. A lot of Judah have babies with Mexicans. Right. And now remember, the father, sometimes the mother features all of them.
Right.
It could be, especially if the mother's an Israelite.
Right.
Sometimes the mothers feature, or even sometimes when they sleep with an Edomite.
Right.
You know how many light-skinned jakes I see, real light-skinned, with what I would say straight curly hair. Right. If that makes sense. And I'll be like, where's your father from? Oh, my father's black. He's from South Central. You know what I'm saying? Right. You see that all day, every day. But the look, and like you said, that's meat that everybody ain't gonna be able to swallow.
Right. It's too thick.
So what I noticed about, that's why I never got bent out of shape about doctrine. And I never really got into too many discussions about doctrine with brothers, because brothers get too emotional about what they believe in. And with this whole Negro only thing, I see where it's going, so I stick away from it, because I don't want to get into that energy. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then it's a null and void argument. Right. But on top of that, on top of all that, what I noticed with Israel, a lot of brothers and sisters, they can't digest certain things. That when it's certain parts of the doctrine and the scriptures, they spirit short circuit. They can't take it. That's why Yahweh Shah said, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. You know, that's why even some of the elders, Mashah used to tell us, look, if they can get it, they get it. If they can't, they can't. Leave it at that, you know what I'm saying? So, and then brothers say, oh, you just saying that because that's your understanding. But no, I really see that on a high level. That's what kept me from a lot of unnecessary contention with brothers. You know, brothers always want to debate you. And this and that. And if you start making points and poking holes in their doctrine, they want to get emotional. They want to get personal. They want to start getting insulting. They want to start getting threatening. So it's like, you know what, bro? I'm not even going to go there with you. You know what I'm saying? And then I know your spirit can't, and brothers might feel like you trying to be better than them, or you think the Most High is dealing with you, but I can see it clearly. Other brothers can see it clearly. It's manifested. The evidence, the proof is there, but you can't see it. So either the spirit is blocking you from it, or you can't accept it, or it's, like you said, it's meat you can't swallow. You can't deal with it. It's too much. Because when you see a black person, a black face, it's cut and dry. It's easy. When you get into the colors and the hair texture, you get it. It confounds people. It confounds people. That's why the scriptures say confusion of faces. Not only with doctrine, but how we look and everything. But on a on the opposite side of that, then you get the brothers that go too far with it. So if Eminem, because Eminem can rap, he's an
Israelite too.
So you get the opposite side.
The extreme side of the pendulum.
remember, brothers have accused me of not understanding confusion of faces.
Right.
Because an Edomite will come up cleaving on,
right,
and they say she's an Israelite. No.
Right.
That's another thing. Brothers can't handle that.
Right.
Brothers can't handle the fact that it's nations and heathens that's going to act like us,
right,
move like us. They grew up around us.
Right.
They may have even a certain swag.
Right.
You might have an Edomite with a body here or there, and then now they spirit can't handle it. That gotta be an Israelite.
Right.
They spirit can't accept that. That's just a cleaving Gentile.
Right. Right.
Or heathen. So I don't go there with brothers.
Because it's a never-ending debate.
It's a never-ending debate.
It's like the infinity symbol.
Yeah.
It'll never. Yahweh Shai going.
That's how
it's some things Yahweh Shai just gonna have to rash it out, because you'll go back and forth forever.
And then my biggest things, brothers get emotional.
Yeah, come.
And then brothers start getting disrespectful. They start getting condescending.
It leads into other things.
They start getting insulting.
Yeah.
Then they start trying to punk you.
Right.
And then it goes into that. So
right,
you know, because one thing I notice about the black man, the Hispanic man, Native American, they cannot be wrong to another black man.
Right. Right.
They can be wrong to the white man all day and night, but they cannot be wrong. This nigga cannot tell me I'm wrong, and I am actually wrong.
Right.
That burns Jake up. That's one of the biggest ego things amongst our people.
Right.
You know, so one time, I had told a brother something about the Byzantine Empire.
Right.
And that was just a conversation we was having. And the brother was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I said, brother, I know. I had just read it a couple of days before.
Right.
And the brother had to go and look it up. And then he came back to me and said, yeah, you was right about that. But it killed them to do that.
Right.
So what I noticed, a black Hispanic Native American man cannot be wrong to another black Hispanic or Native American. Even in the truth. You can't you can't just humble yourself and say I was wrong. Right. Now, my whole thing is, if we are wrong to whatever degree, whatever, somebody happen to be an Israelite that we think is an Edomite or heathen, whatever, but I know what my spirit tells me, I know what the scriptures tell me, and you're not going to take some straight up damn cracker, and because he said, what up, nigga, and he's an Israelite now, no, hell no.
And the spirit usually reveals, because they would say that Justin Bieber, but he had that joke, run, nigga, 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 run, you know?
You know what I'm saying? Eminem, when you check out Eminem, listen to Eminem's lyrics, they demonic as hell. Even Jake, with all of Jake's rapping about killing each other, drugs, whatever, Jake is just simple as hell. If you really listen to Eminem lyrics, the man is a demon rapping. He's a rapping demon. The man even said on a freestyle with Mos Def and Black Thought, the man said, I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. Man just said it straight up. Like, get all kinds of demonic shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And Jake rhymes off, but Jake is not on that demonic level. Esau's on that deep. That's how you know he's the damn devil. He just got a little rhyming skills, but it's the devil. So that's the flip side. You know, I say all that to say that's the flip side of that confusion of faces and all that. Because brothers will get emotional about that. Brothers will have straight up Edomites in their camp or Hamites in their camp and saying they got the spirit, so they Israelites. So you know, everything ain't for everybody. Can't swallow certain things. They can't deal with certain things. Yeah, that's why I leave it alone. And then it's that, you know, the scriptures say, come let us reason together. And brothers don't realize, I would engage brothers on certain doctrines just for us to get an understanding on iron sharpening iron. But brothers get too emotional about their doctrines and they get too personal. That's why I don't address brothers, man. 90% of these brothers with their doctrines or their difference in understanding, I don't even address them. Because brothers are big ass babies, man. 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and you don't see it, so F you. Or nigga, that's why I'm gonna kill you when I get the power. Or just dumb shit out of their mouth, man. Or see, you sold out, nigga, that's why you can't. Just dumb shit they say out of their mouth, excuse my language. And it's like, yo, stop the disrespect, brother.
Led by emotion.
And then brothers will get you on another level, and nobody wants to go there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what, keep your doctrine, brother. As for me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. We're gonna believe and teach what the Spirit show us. We have no interest in your debates, your reasonings. No, leave us alone. We solid in what we understand. Don't come to us, don't come up to our camps. None of that. We have no interest in even talking. Teach what you're going to teach. We're going to teach what we're going to teach. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua, the Most High Yahushua going to come and clear everything out. Alright, so once again, the forever purge. All praise to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Brothers and sisters, got some edification out of these points we made. Check out the movie, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You know, don't tell us once again, you forgot this part.
Yeah.
Just whatever we
That's
forgot.
for you.
That's for you. Add it into the comments.
Add it into comments,
or
right.
you do your Perge movie review.
Right,
and drop some points that maybe we forgot, or we
right.
probably know, but we just didn't bring it out.
Right.
All right, so that's basically it. Anything else to close?
We covered it.
All right, so with that, death and destruction to Esau and the other nations, power, peace, safety, and the kingdom of heaven to Israel forever and ever. Amen. The forever Perge. Check it out, Israel. Another movie review for me and my brother Nala. See you. How about Mashiach Yom Shai? Call me Ashala. We still got next. Hallelujah. Shalom.